What were the key factors in determining which e-commerce solution you decided to go with? Probably in no small part you looked at functionality, whether out of the box or by way of extensions. But perhaps the functionality offered by a particular framework shouldn't be such a driving factor, and maybe fitting your business model exactly isn't as important as you might think. This probably sounds like a silly thing to say. Of course your e-commerce solution should fit your business requirements as closely as possible. Surely that goes without saying. Well, yes, that's absolutely true, but lots or even most of the functionality you need doesn't necessarily have to sit inside your e-commerce solution. And in fact, to future-proof your business, it can actually be preferable for it not to. There's really two different views to this discussion, and neither is wrong as such. It's just about getting your preferred balance of versatility compared to complexity. On one hand, you have a store where most of the functionality required for your business has been added to your e-commerce framework codebase. Then on the other hand, you have a store where most of that functionality uses external services. With the setup where business functionality has been developed primarily inside your e-commerce framework, you gain with simplicity. Everything's in one place, it's easy to switch between tasks, and you can much more easily compare data sources and even build logic to do this for you automatically. However, with this setup you lose on versatility. You're basically pretty much locked into using your e-commerce solution long term because there's so much invested interest there. You never know what the future will bring for your business, particularly considering the ever-changing nature of e-commerce. So imagine if the future brings a compelling business case for changing to a different e-commerce framework. In that case, think about just how much functionality will be lost and need to be replaced in a new framework or using external services. Here, past decisions of developing functionality inside your e-commerce solution will have created a situation where you face significant investment in porting functionality to an alternative solution, and this makes it hard to go forward with the changes that really make sense from a business perspective. So by developing within your e-commerce framework, you can get to the situation where you actually block the forward progress of the business in the future. While it can make complete sense, even considering the possible future of the business, to have functionality sit inside your e-commerce framework, for many things it makes a great deal of sense to use an external service which then integrates with your e-commerce solution. In this case, you gain when it comes to versatility, but lose when it comes to complexity. Just because you have a number of systems to consider and manage, and this is opposed to having a single point to access everything. However, the trade-off of added complexity is one that is very often worth it and actually doesn't end up being a trade-off at all. That's often because the added complexity of multiple systems also brings with it greater specialization. So by using external systems, you also get greater specialization and better functionality in managing that particular area of your business. Now, if we consider the same compelling business case for changing to a different e-commerce framework, we can easily imagine how much simpler it's going to be. Now that we have lots of business functionality managed in external services, all we really need to worry about is migrating the relevant data from the current e-commerce framework to the new one. And there are plenty of services to do this for you. Generally, I like to recommend a light touch approach when considering the functionality your e-commerce framework is responsible for. What I mean by that is just that it can often offer the best long-term benefits if you stick pretty closely to out-of-the-box functionality for your e-commerce framework. Doing this largely levels the playing field between different solutions on offer, making a migration from one framework to another much simpler. Also, with popular external services, it's very likely that there'll be direct integration with all the main e-commerce frameworks, meaning that all external services can be integrated into the new framework with ease and continue to be used the same as before. In programming, there's a concept called being loosely coupled, which basically means that when you design a system, you want to build it so that one area of the system has very little or no direct dependency on other areas. Designing something like this gives you the versatility to alter or even remove one area of the system without affecting overall functionality. This is effectively the concept we're going for here, to have the various elements of your e-commerce business work independently of each other. It gives you the ability to swap out or replace the functionality of any single area of responsibility easily and with minimal or even no impact on other areas. Looking at the wider picture like this, it's easy to see the benefits of segregating the different areas of responsibility of your e-commerce business across various relevant services. So to conclude, my general recommendation here is to carefully consider what the best solution is going to be for any single business requirement. Think about what you need to achieve right now, but also give real thought to the possible future direction of your business and the requirements that could introduce. Having the versatility to take your business in the right direction without being tied down to a single software solution gives increased possibilities and invests in the future. So whatever you might feel right now about where your business could be in 5 or 10 years time, the benefits of segregating the different areas of responsibility across different solutions shouldn't be ignored. Thanks so much for watching, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the comments, and I'll see you next week.